Well, the ad we just saw is tremendous and, as expected, it has sparked quite a bit of criticism, which we are going to comment on. The fundamental problem with all of this is that when you try to be everything, you end up being nothing. What Microsoft is destroying is the identity of the Xbox brand. In the end, the brand ceases to be recognizable, especially when it came from a history of highs and lows in which it has been losing its differential value, something every product needs to compete. The policy Microsoft has followed is one of consuming and trying to penetrate every possible market. This implies a departure from its identity so that everything fits. This strategy looks great on an Excel spreadsheet. Obviously, the potential user count comes out much higher if you add not only the Xbox machine but also PC users and game streaming users. Hardware takes a back seat. Furthermore, to ensure the service has the maximum number of games, they dedicate themselves to acquiring companies like Bethesda or Activision. They don't create anything, they simply buy with all the power they have. But this strategy has a flaw. The user on the other side is still a human being. Human behavior cannot be faithfully projected onto an Excel sheet. Everything fits in a PowerPoint, but the one who pays is still a person, and psychology is what makes the difference, something a spreadsheet cannot capture. Game Pass is a perfect example. Offering an immense quantity of video games at a very low price didn't work as well as the Excel sheet predicted. Psychologically, humans don't react well to abundance. When you have too many options, you end up freezing. Or when you observe that something is very cheap, even if it's high quality, you end up devaluing it. Let's remember the first consoles. A game cost a fortune, and you'd spend a year with it. You valued it. Buying a game was an extraordinary event. We have gone from that scarcity, which gives things value, to having infinite games. And the brain explodes. We don't function well with abundance. I believe Xbox's decline began with the Xbox One. They betrayed many things there and began to cannibalize themselves to broaden that scope, turning their back on their own brand by, for example, trying to remove the physical format. The straw that breaks the camel's back is this ad. It's lamentable. They use an older man, who represents the Xboxer tradition, and it's as if they are ripping out his spirit, making him kneel before the new multi-device and services policy. For me, it's a lack of respect. It's the paradigm of modernity, where there is no identity and one's own history is disrespected. Besides, Microsoft has a habit of leaving you hanging. It happened to me with the Groove Music Store. One day they shut down the service and tell you, hey, download your MP3s and get going. More of a botched job than that is hard to imagine. Faced with this situation, I personally canceled my Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, sold my 2 Series X consoles, my Series S, and while I was at it, my PS5 as well. Because if I have a Master Race PC, why do I want the consoles if their games are also going to be on Steam? The only company that has remained true to its essence is Nintendo. We can criticize it for prices, but it has preserved its essence. It keeps the cartridge and its exclusive games. On a console level, for the traditional gamer, it's the only one that makes sense. Here lies the conflict, the company's perspective versus the players. For the traditional player, this strategy is garbage. What one enjoys is the difference, playing on a PS5 and knowing it has its personality, comparing it to Nintendo and its own things, and comparing it to Xbox, each with its exclusives. That's what provides the incentive. But all of that has been lost. That world that existed before, the world of Sega, Nintendo, and Sony, is dead. The borders have been erased, and everything has devolved into services. Microsoft won't hesitate. If they have to kill the brand, they'll kill it. If they have to resell Activision, they'll resell it. And if they have to create games for PlayStation, they'll create them. As long as the numbers add up, they don't give a damn. And that's the feeling.